Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to your English lesson for today. Now, your retrieval task today is to see if you can list any prepositions. Now, have a little think about what these are and what they mean, and then see if you can write any down. Now, if I was you, I would pause the video, I'd write them down, and then come back to the video when you're ready. So, a preposition is where or when something is in relation to something else. So, for example, under. I could be under the table. Now, the word under would be my preposition because that's saying where I am in relation to something else. So where I am in relation to the table. Now, I was just about to change the wrong colour, the wrong one then, wasn't I? This is the one you want. Okay, and that would be the same for the word behind, against, between and above. Now, there's lots of other ones, so don't worry if you have different ones to the ones that are on that list. But as long as they're a word or a statement that says where or when something is in relation to something else, then you're all good. So well done. Well done for giving that a really good go. Okay. Today, Wednesday the 3rd of February, you're going to have a go at planning your narrative. Now don't worry, we are going to do one together, just so you know what you're doing. But your learning is, can I plan out a narrative about the journey of the little raindrop? Now remember, the little raindrop is your character, okay? So how can you be successful today? I can use pictures from a book to help me plan. Again, that will make a little bit more sense in a moment. I can plan out the different grammar I am going to use. Now let's just remember that the purpose of this, so when we start writing this tomorrow and Friday, the purpose is to entertain, your audience is your teachers, and the form is a narrative, so it's like a story. Okay, so like I said before, your task today is to plan out your narrative using the pictures to help you. There is a key vocabulary list and grammar to help you. You do not need to include every one of these for each picture as long as you have used each at least once throughout your narrative. Again, this is going to make a little bit more sense in just a moment. So, this is what part of your planning will look like. Now, I'm actually going to get it up on the Word document, which is how you would have been sent it through, just because it's a little bit easier to show you or give you some examples of how you could plan. Okay, let me find it. This one here. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Now, remember, this is a plan. So you're not going to be writing your whole narrative today. I don't want to see lots of stories, as much as they'll be lovely, I'm sure. That needs to wait until Thursday and Friday. Today is your planning day. So you can just get a few words down, maybe a few short sentences down, which will then help you tomorrow when you come to writing your narrative up, or the first 2 paragraphs of your narrative. Okay, so you have got 4 different pictures. You've got 1. There's your other one. There's your other one. And there's your last one. Now, each picture is going to represent a new paragraph. Okay? So each picture is going to represent a new paragraph. And for each picture, you'll be able to see that there is a key vocabulary and grammar list. Now, I'm just going to go through them. So you've got fronted adverbial, got your simple sentence, commas in a list, compound sentence, which is your main clause, your coordinating conjunction, and another main clause, your complex sentence, which is a main clause, a subordinate conjunction, and a subordinating clause, and a sentence that starts with a subordinate conjunction, an expanded noun phrase, a line of speech, a question, and an exclamation mark. Now, as I said earlier, you do not have to include every single one of those in every paragraph. I want to see that you've tried to use it at least once throughout your narrative, but you do not need it in every single paragraph, okay? Now, this is the silver one that we're looking at today. I know some of you will have a go at bronze and have a go at sapphire, and some of you will have a go at gold, but I thought I'd show you silver because I think that's where most of you, or that's what most of you will do your plan on. You'll do it on this sheet in front of us now. Okay? So, first thing I want to think of, I want to start my paragraph. I want to start my first paragraph with a fronted adverbial. I feel like we've gone through these lots and lots this week, so that's what I want to start mine off with now. I had a little look at the waggle earlier because that helped me a little bit. And I want to start mine with one stormy day. So, now, that's not saying that might change tomorrow. So I might come to write it and be like, oh no, actually, I've thought of another fronted adverbial I'd like to use, and that's okay. Plans can change. You don't have to stick directly to your plan. This is just to help you get some ideas down. Okay. A simple sentence. Let's think of a simple sentence that I could use to describe this picture, for this first picture. Now, the simple sentence must make sense on its own. Let's have a think. So my character is called Little Raindrop. And while I remember, he's going on a journey, isn't he? So in this picture, I can see that he's not going back to the clouds. This is the start of his journey. So I can see that he's falling from a cloud. And the cloud's grey. So, Little Raindrop, who's my character, fell from a grey, stormy cloud. Oh, I don't think I left a gap, did I? That was silly. Do that now. There we go. Okay, Little Raindrop fell from a grey, stormy cloud. Now, if I go down my list, that's included something else. That's included an expanded noun phrase. So, I'm not sure how to tick on word, but if I had a pen and I was doing this on a piece of paper, I'd get my pen and I would tick that I've done a fronted adverbial in this section. I would tick my simple sentence and I would tick my expanded noun phrase. Okay, before we move on, I did forget to mention at the start, if you haven't got a printer and you can't print this out, please do not worry. You can write it out slightly differently. So, if you've got a pen and you've got a bit of paper, you could write, for example, you could write picture 1, and then the key vocabulary that you've chosen to use or plan out, or the key grammar. So you could then write next to picture 1, or underneath, you could write fronted adverbials. Fronted adverbial. And then either underneath or next to, you could write the list of the fronted adverbials you might like to use. Oh, that doesn't need a capital. Stormy day. Now remember that comma when you're using your fronted adverbials afterwards, okay? And then once you've finished all your key vocabulary for picture 1, you could write your next heading, picture 2. And you could underline them if you wanted to, okay? So I could underline picture 1 and I could underline picture 2. Okay, so whatever way you can do it, whatever way you can do your plan is absolutely fine. It's whatever works for you. Okay, sorry, I will get back to our planning. Now, remember at the start I said that you do not need to use every single one in every single paragraph, okay? So it might be in this one that I decide I don't want to use commas in a list. So I might come back to that a little bit later and I might think of some that I could use, but I might not use it. So let's move on to a compound sentence now. A compound sentence, I need a main clause that makes sense on its own, a coordinated conjunction which will join my clauses, and another main clause that will also make sense on its own. So I could write more than one compound sentence here, because I might have more than one idea. Don't just have to write one. For today, I'm just going to write one, but you could write 2, 3, 4, however many you wanted to write, however many ideas that you've got, okay? So, I can see that he's coming out of a cloud and he might be floating. So he all thought he was going to land in the tree. But, that's my coordinating conjunction, but the wind blew him into a cold blue river. I've got another expanded noun phrase there with lots of other raindrops. Okay. Oh, I've spelled thought wrong. There we go. So he thought he was going to land in the tree. That would make sense on its own. He thought he was going to land in the tree. But the wind blew him into a cold blue river with lots of other raindrops. The wind blew him into a cold blue river with lots of other raindrops. That would also make sense on its own, okay? Okay. Now, I'm going to do a complex sentence with you. And then I'm going to go off and finish my plan so you can start your plans. Because I reckon you're ready to get on with them now. I reckon you can be really successful in this. So, I'm just going to think of a complex sentence. Let's have a think. Little raindrop was so fast because of the wind. Now, my subordinate conjunction is because, and I have written little raindrop was so fast because of the wind. So little raindrop was so fast would make sense on its own. Of the wind, or because of the wind, wouldn't make sense on its own. Okay, so that's your subordinate clause. Okay, I am now going to send you off to do your planning, to do the plan for your narrative. Okay, have lots of fun. And remember, you don't need to include all of these in your plan for each paragraph. But as you go along, make sure you've ticked them all off at least once for each one, okay? Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing your plans soon. Bye, Year 4.